Hi everyone, it's Maddie, and today we'll be doing a spell your name workout that will focus on cardiovascular fitness. It will be kind of in the style of HIIT workouts or high intensity interval training, so it'll be one that really gets your heart rate going. So what you'll do is you'll look for each letter in your name and you'll do whatever that exercise is. You'll rest for about 20 seconds between each exercise and 2 minutes between each set. You'll want to spell out your name and complete your list of exercises at least twice, but feel free to do more rounds, especially if your name is shorter. Before we start the workout though, we are going to complete a dynamic warm-up to warm up our muscles and increase our heart rates. This warm-up will consist of dynamic exercises that are very similar to my last video. For each of these, you'll go down and back about 15 or 20 feet, but if you're inside like me and you don't have a ton of space, you can do them in place for about 30 seconds. First up, we have high knees. If these are too much for you, you can always replace them with a high knee march. This exercise will warm up all of your leg muscles while also engaging your core. Next, we have butt kicks. Again, if that's too much for you, you can modify it so it's not as forceful. This exercise will also warm up all of the muscles in the legs. Now we can do toy soldiers. Remember to touch your hand to your opposite leg, and don't worry if your leg is not completely straight, just do the best you can. And you should be feeling this in your hamstrings of your lifted leg and your hip flexors. Now we'll do the opposite. That one, you brought your arm to your opposite leg, and make sure to take your time with that one and only go as far down as you can. If you need to, you can do this one in place, kind of like I did, and you can find a railing or something to hold on to just so you don't lose your balance. You should feel a stretch in your hamstrings and the calf of your planted leg. Next, we'll do hip rotators, and these are another pair of exercises that you'll want to take your time on, just to make sure you don't fall or hurt yourself. These will warm up your lower body and provide better mobility as you extend and flex your legs. So to go forward, you'll start with your bent leg out and rotate it inwards. Okay. And then you'll go backwards and you'll start with your bent leg in front of you and rotate it outwards. Lastly, we'll warm up our upper body with some arm circles. We'll go ahead and do both big and small, forward and backwards, about 20 times each way. This exercise targets your shoulders, triceps, back, and biceps. And it warms up your shoulder joints and also starts to increase the circulation in your arms and fingers. Now we're going to move on to our workout. So here's the list of exercises as they correspond to each letter. I'll put it at the end of the video too, so you can pause it after you've seen each exercise. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with these exercises. They are almost all full body exercises, so it's going to be a fun workout. So again, how this works is you'll spell out your name, and with each letter, you will complete an exercise. For example, my name is Maddie, so I would go down to M and do 20 burpees. Then I'd go to A and do 50 jumping jacks, and so on and so forth. Depending on how long or short your name is, you should go through at least twice. You're gonna rest for 20 seconds between each exercise and 2 minutes between each round. What I'm going to do is get through each exercise listed, then go through my name to see what it would look like. So let's get started. First, we have jumping jacks. I think these are pretty simple and most people know how to do these, so feel free to incorporate different variations throughout. Jumping jacks are a great cardio exercise that engages all of your muscles. They help strengthen your hips and glutes while also engaging your core and upper body. If these would be too hard on your knees or you don't want to make a lot of noise by jumping, a modification could be the step jack. Instead of jumping, you'll step out with one leg while bringing your arms over your head. Try to still go at a quicker pace though to get the full effect. Next, we have crunches. Crunches can be a good abdominal exercise because they isolate those muscles. To do these, you'll lie on the floor and you'll want to do these on a carpet or a yoga mat to make it most comfortable. I've always done them with my feet in the air, but you can also do them with your feet planted on the floor. Rest your fingers behind your ears or have your arms crossed in front of your chest. Don't have your head completely laying in your palms, because that could cause neck issues. And by contracting your abs, you're going to lift up your upper body, and that would be the crunch. If crunches are too hard on your spine, you can modify it by doing standing crunches. To do these, you simply bring your arms down while bringing one leg up, alternating legs. Make sure you're contracting your abdominal muscles. Okay, now we're gonna do squats. To do these, you'll want your feet to be about hip width apart, feet flat on the floor, back straight, and then as you squat, you wanna make sure that your knees don't go past your toes and you keep your back straight and your butt is out. Squats target your quads, hamstrings, glutes, and are beneficial for general health and well-being because they mimic a lot of activities of daily living. Now, last week I added a 20-pound weight. But since this is a little bit more fast-paced, I'll add a lighter weight, about 10 pounds. But again, you can keep it a body weight squat. It's totally up to you. modification for squats would be to not use any added weight, and you don't have to go too deep and just go as far as you can. Next, we'll do push-ups. So for these, you'll be in a prone position, similar to plank. And we're gonna focus on the triceps. So you'll keep your elbows in and then you'll lower yourself and then come right back up. Push-ups feature the whole body and target your pectoral muscles, deltoids, triceps, abdominals, and serratus anterior. A modification for push-ups would be to go on your knees. This will make it a little bit easier as it takes some of the weight off of your arms. If you want to do regular push-ups, but the number is too high, go ahead and do a mix of regular and modified push-ups. So now we're gonna do wall sits. And to do these, you're gonna need a wall, obviously. And you'll have your back flat up against the wall with your feet about shoulder width apart, about 1 to 2 feet away from the wall, depending on how tall you are. You're just gonna slide down until your legs make about a 90-degree angle. Your knees should be directly above your ankles and your abs should be contracting. Wall sits are a great muscular endurance exercise as they work your lower body, targeting your glutes, hamstrings, and quads. Next, we're gonna do some burpees. To do these, you'll start in a standing position, then squat down, placing your hands on the floor. Then you'll kick back your feet. You'll land in a push-up position. From here, you can do a push-up, but it's totally optional. To come back, you'll shoot your legs forward into that squat position, and then you'll jump up into the air from there. So I'll show you kind of in a slow motion. So this is another full body exercise that completely works your arms, chest, back, quads, glutes, hamstrings, and your core. And it's a really great exercise to get your heart rate up. To modify burpees, you can make them less forceful by slowing down the movement and taking out the jumping movements. To do this, you'll start in a squat thrust and then step back with one leg after the other into a plank. This version is definitely gentler on the body and takes a little bit less energy out of you. Lastly, we will do mountain climbers. To do these, you'll get into a plank position, making sure your back is completely flat. Then you'll pull your right knee into your chest, then switch by bringing back that leg and bringing in the other. You'll continue this at a really quick pace. This is another great full body workout that builds cardio endurance, core strength, and agility. It especially works your arms, shoulders, quads, and core. To modify mountain climbers, instead of getting in the plank position, you can use a couch or a stair or anything to make yourself elevated. And then you can do the same motion with your legs. And you can do this at any pace. If it works best for you at a slow pace, go ahead and do that. Make sure that you're still contracting your abdominal muscles. Now that you know all of the exercises, I'll show you how it would work with my name. So first I'll start with M, so that's 20 burpees. Next is A, which is 50 jumping jacks. 2 Ds would be 2 rounds of 15 push-ups. Then we have I, so that would be 30 jumping jacks. And finally, E is a 1-minute wall sit. Now that we're finished with our workout, we're gonna finish with a cool down to make sure that our muscles are stretched in order to prevent injury and muscle soreness. It's important to cool down after exercise so you can gradually get your heart rate down as well as your breathing. Again, our cool down will be very similar to last week's, starting with a nice walk or light jog around the block. Now we'll sit down and start our static stretching. So you'll hold these stretches for anywhere between 20 and 30 seconds. First, we'll reach for our right leg. And don't push yourself too far to where it hurts. You just want to be able to feel a nice stretch. Then we'll go to the left. And then to the middle. Then you'll put your legs together and you're gonna reach for your toes. Your legs don't need to be completely locked. They can have a little bit of bend in them. And remember to only go as far as you can. For those, you should be able to feel the stretch in your hamstrings as well as your lower back. Now we're gonna go into butterfly. This stretch opens your hips and it stretches your adductors, which are located in your inner thigh. And you're just gonna gently push down with each of your arms. Now we can stand up and we're gonna start with a quad stretch. So you're just going to bring back your foot and hold it there. And if you need to, you can hold on to a chair or a railing or anything to keep your balance. You can feel this stretch in your quads, but it will also improve flexibility in your hip flexors. And it will also release tension in your lower back. Make sure to do both sides. Now we're gonna do a calf stretch. So you're gonna find a wall, or I think stairs work best for me. And all you're gonna do is prop your foot up against it. And then you're gonna lean forward. And this, you'll be really able to feel that stretch in your calf as well as your Achilles tendon. Now we'll move on to the upper body. So we'll start by bringing one arm across your body, and you can use your other arm to kind of push it even further. This stretch is good for shoulders if you have shoulder pain, and it'll also kind of restore your range of motion in your shoulder and your arm. Now we'll do the same thing with the other arm. Next, we will bring our arm up and fold it behind our head like this. And again, you can use your other arm to push it down. This stretch, you'll be able to feel in your triceps as well as your shoulder and scapula area. Next, we'll do some arm circles just to loosen everything up. And like I said before, arm circles work the shoulders, arms, and upper back. And lastly, we'll end with our child's pose. This is a great relaxation pose, and it helps open up the hips and it lengthens the spine. And it also stretches the hips and thighs and ankles. You can hold this stretch for 30 seconds, but you can also stay here as long as you want. After a great workout, I like to rehydrate and relax with my exercise buddies. Thanks for watching!